Happy Tuesday! The little Mexican is on summer vacation and I'm looking forward to it. I may fill in and do a little bit of summer school, but I'm actually happy that I have a couple weeks to myself to continue back with my workouts, doing 150 swings a week and taking good swings. Before I get started, when you find your home diamond, I think any place you go hit, but when you find the place that you love to hit on a regular basis, you need to learn to take care of the field, especially if it's a community field. In Hollister, you know, I've shared with the rec department, me coming out here as often as I am, first you got a set of eyes so there's no vandalism. Plus I upkeep the field, or when my friends are here, we're picking up trash, we're making it look nice. Because when it comes to community and a recreation ballpark, it's ours. We partially own this from our tax-paying dollars. That's what makes the grass green, nice dirt, and upkeep is your tax dollars. But by taking care of it, they're able to leave it accessible to many people. Okay. First thing I want to share, any field, but if it's your home field, this is my home field, take care of your batter's box. You don't know how often I've talked to people sharing like, hey man, when you come hit, bring a bucket of water, you know, fill the holes up, first put water, fill the holes up, put dirt on it, pack it down, and let it harden. So when you have league or you come out to hit, your box is nice and neat. Okay? So remember that. I'm going to show you. Okay? So once again, did a little manicure in here with the box, but you can see the box hasn't been taken care of. And there's people come here on a regular basis. And then there is the water. So when I'm done, I'm actually going to show you what I like to do, just to keep it good. Plus we play league on Wednesday nights. So we're out here going to be doing some tee work with you all. And when I hit tee, I don't need to, I mean, unless you got a lot of money that you could buy bats and stuff, but for the most part, you know, I have this old Easton that I'll hit BP with. This thing's got about 500 cuts and it's still going strong. Very similar to my little Mexican bat. And I also have a prototype, which is a little stiff. But I'm not looking to use my gamers. That's why you want to find something that's very similar to your gamer to get a good feel. You know, if you're swinging, you know, if you're a senior player, there's going to be bats out there, you know, older bats that are very similar in weight and size. Maybe not the Bazinga feel, you know, the propelling that you get off the sweet spot, but that's not why we're here. We're here to develop a swing and get your consistency up another level. As I shared, you know, sometimes if you're passionate about the game, it's very hard to find people as passionate as you, especially if you live in a rural town. You know, Hollister, there's a lot of people that play softball over the years, but I'd say consistently through the decades from the 90s, 2000, 2010s, and now to the 2020s, I've never had more than 3 guys that would consistently hit that I can give them a call and say, yeah, I'll go hit 3 guys. So finding someone that wants to work on their game, but most importantly, is stay limber and loose to be successful in the game, is hard to find. Going to that, if you are a guy that sustains injury or injury prone, then for sure you want to be getting some kind of cardio, some things in regards to flexing your muscles, especially all the muscles you use. Your muscles will tighten up and not be as limber as the way you need them if you just sit on the couch or not taking your swings, especially you get older. Part of why I swing as much as I can is, first off, as I've always shared, this is my gym. I go out, get cardio, I'm jogging, I'm moving, I don't play a lot of catch, so I'm throwing balls, long tosses, just to keep the arm loose and limber. At my age, I probably lost a little, I've lost some off my, you know, how much velocity I have throwing the ball in, but I'm still able to compete over the 50s, above average arm, 40s, above average arm. Men's, maybe a little average in regards to playing the outfield or infield. Not like when I used to have that strap, but part of what I've done is always throwing the ball, keeping your arm loose. Just like in baseball, pitchers, everyone's throwing the ball every day to keep it limber and loose. Because once it tightens up is when you're going to start becoming sore. Not swinging the bat for long periods of time, you're going to get sore, you're going to get stiff, or it takes more time for you to get ready, opposed to the guy doing anything. Just like the gym, if you go once in a blue moon, you're not going to see results. It's the consistency of going into the gym is where you start seeing results. Same thing in regards to if you want to up your on base percentage, your base hitting skill and stuff, you got to come out and hit BP or even hit the tees to see results. Coming out once in a blue moon, because I've known some guys, come out, take 10, I'm good, 20, and whatever. And you see them playing the tournaments, and they're those heartbeat hitters. A lot of your great hitters consistently are going out to hit. You know, those professional softball players, I remember, you know, Andy sharing with Freddie Mac, you know, when he moved out to Florida, became that big-time pro guy that he was able to go about 450 swings a week. And obviously it showed with him. You know, when he came into conference, I recall he was batting 10th or 11th with the long haul bombers, and he's always been a good hitter, but when it came to playing at the conference level, the major level, the best teams in the world, 450 swings, swinging out there in Florida, really changed his game, becoming a leadoff 2-hitter, 4, 5-hitter, 6-hitter. So those are things you got to remember. So when hitting the tee, I like to start down the middle. If you're hitting into a net, your focus, as I've always shared, is hitting everything up the middle. Because once you perfect squaring up the ball and just hitting it gap to gap up the middle, pulling the ball or going 3-4 is that much easier. Before I like to get started with physical activity, and you know I take this, I've been doing CBD for 3+ years, and under the tongue, that shit, and my body just regroups. I feel better. I feel limber and loose. And just like going to the gym, I tell people with CBD, if you're just shooting it up once in a while, you're not going to get the results within your body and your heart rate and stuff as you probably would. Another new feature I got a mic. Second time I'm using this, hope it works out good. I'm going to be swinging this little prototype, little Mexican bat here to do my PP session. So, first thing you want to focus on, a lot of guys that I see, the error that they make when hitting off the tee, if you could see here, I have the ball in front of home plate, okay? A lot of people set the ball on home plate. Since I'm going gap to gap, you could see relatively where the ball is. It's probably about close, you know, just over a foot, 15 inches, because you want to catch the ball out in front. Okay, so going back, a lot of information to help you guys, you hitters. Okay, what's up, Dennis? Next thing I tell people, even in BP, you could do it for BP, especially do it before games. Okay, a lot of times we suffer from anxiety and pressure situations, and I don't care who you are, but everyone gets a little bit of the motor going. So it's your approach. It's pre-pitch. To me, my at-bat always starts actually when I'm in the hole, getting my body loose and doing what I need to do to stay limber. I'm always stretching my back, my arms. I don't use a sledgehammer on the on-deck circle. I have a sleeve that's about 5 ounces heavier to add to my bat. So when I'm swinging it, I'm getting loose. A lot of times you get the sledgehammer or you get some 5-pound weight or axe and you're swinging it, and what you're doing is you're messing up your coordination or your muscle memory because it's so heavy that your hands are forcing hard. Then you go to the light bat and you're off. I learned this in college baseball. Cal State Hayward, which is now East Bay, you know, we had a guy hitting, pro guy, who was talking about, you know, your weight should be about 5 ounces to 7 ounces above your normal bat weight because you don't want it to be too much. And it's technically just to get the body loose and stuff, okay? My pre-pitch every time, and I say everybody should focus on this, is take deep breaths. Before getting in the box, what I always do, and watch me next time, I always kind of, my pre-thing is I get my bat loose, and I'll take a couple swings, stay limber, and then after that, I take 2 to 3 long, deep breaths through the nose, okay? When you are tense, when you feel anxiety because it's a big, you know, AB, or you need to, you know, you're hoping to be successful, your muscles can get tense. And part of loosening your muscles is taking 2 to 3 long deep breaths through the nose. This way, the oxygen that goes through your nose goes directly to the brain. Your brain needs oxygen. If you've ever been somebody who's afraid, they hyperventilate. And what does the paramedic do? Slow down, take long deep breaths to calm yourself down. So that's the reason why you want to take those 2 to 3 long deep breaths prior to getting in the box. You know? All right. So currently right now, I have the TV in front of home plate as I shared. So this is at the tip, you can see. So I'm pretty much like that. This is a 34-inch bat. So you're talking close to 2 feet in front of home plate. And this is primarily going gap to gap. I'm going to share where you want to place the ball in the tee if you're working on pulling 5-6 hole or going 3-4, because you got to change it. Another big mistake a lot of people do when they're hitting with the tees is they alter their mechanics. Just recently, professional hitter, almost 60 years old, gets it done in the 40s, 50s, 55 plus is Johnny Bailey, JB, big shout out. Mike and Swinger. The other day he had a video putting in that extra work because sometimes our passionate friends can't come out and hit. But there's one thing I notice with good hitters when you watch them do the tee work, they don't change their body. If you're familiar watching JB hit, nice and compact, he's coming through and striding. And what I mean is a lot of times what I see is guys hitting the tee and they're doing it like, they're opening up, they're doing this, and that isn't their normal. My normal stance is when I'm hitting, my hands are up and I'm just striding and coming through. When I hit tee, I'm not altering my step, my body, my hand, nothing. Okay, because this game is muscle memory. When you're hitting off the tee, very similar to like hitting off or hitting golf. If you've ever played golf or hitting golf, very, very similar. Guys who hit golf, they change the clubs, but they're trying to do that same fluid swing, and that's what we're trying to do here. Another thing that I focus on as well is, hold on a second, I'm trying to get here. Bring cones. A good old-fashioned saying, practice without improvement is meaningless practice. You're not getting a lot done. I'm trying to give you a good area where you can see what I'm doing here. Okay. Practice without improvement is meaningless. So out there, if you can't tell, I got a cone, kind of primarily where they play me. Okay. So with that ball down the middle, like I said, and also another thing is I've always shared with people, if you watch a lot of great hitters, they're up in the box. I've seen guys that bat deep in the box, and they're having to do this with their swing, dropping the backside, missing and popping up. To be consistent, and you might have heard me if you played with me, hit the ball like off a batting tee. You're taking a nice through cut as such. When you're cutting the ball, it's much easier to get a hit or drive a ball through a hole if you do miss it. Okay? What's up, JoJo Smash? So what I have right here currently is the ball down the middle of the plate. Okay? With this ball, I know I can go left center, right center, and if I need to, up the middle. But primarily with this pitch, I'm looking left center, right center. Depending what's going on over here, I can alter it. But, focusing on not missing the ball is hitting the ball where it's pitched, which I'm going to show you a little later. It's very detrimental. You learn that science. So we're just going gap to gap here. And what you're going to notice, every time I stand in the box, as I shared with some guys, they're moving their bodies in the box. Find where you're comfortable in the box. Okay? As a defensive player, if I see you're on it, you're looking to pull the ball. If you're way off it, it's much easier to go backside. So for me, what I developed, I like to be right even with the box in the middle, because then a good defensive player, it's more of a guessing game opposed to knowing the percentages. If you're way off the dish, you're going left center backside, but primarily middle backside. And next time you watch a game, watch it. There's so many guys I've sat in the benches watching a game and start calling that out. For some reason, some people don't grasp it. I don't understand why. It's clear cut. You got to watch. Softball is a thinking man's game. It's chess. It's not checkers. Baseball is more checkers because you're not thinking as much in regards to at the plate. You're just reacting to the ball. But in softball, you can guide it. You can punch it. So you can take a couple swings right here. Same stance. Every time, same spot. Hands up. Cutting that hole. Watch the swing. Right now I'm just going to focus at middle right center hole. Same spot. Hands up. Strike. Cut. Same spot in the box. I'm getting that. Same spot. Gonna go right center one more time. There you go. So if you can notice, I got my hands up and I'm coming through right here and rolling it through. Another good thing for me that really helps, I have to remind myself, is to take that stride to get that drive into the ball. Okay. Same pitch, same spot. Now I'm gonna go left center hold. I'm setting up. Same spot as you, I hope you could see. Box a little cruddy, but left center hole. Hands up, stride and cut. Hey, it's a miss, but it's in that hole. Same spot. A little close to the 5-man, but that's all right. I'm cutting. Same spot. Cutting the ball. Not uppercutting, just cutting. Same spot. Hands up. Right in there. As I said, you got to focus same spot. I mean, left center probably would get it a little up more in the box. So all I did is made a little change, is that I'm putting the ball forward a little bit. Okay. Same spot. Hands up. There you go. Cutting the ball well. My hands are up. I'm going through, rolling the wrist. Same spot. Right in the hole that I want. We'll go one more. Same spot. Cutting it. Look at that. One more. That was nice. Same spot. Hands up. Look at that. No one's catching that. Okay. So now the next thing I want to show you is hitting 5-6 hole. Okay. So when hitting the 5-6 hole, you're going to catch it out more front, but I prefer to have it on the inside corner, you know, between the inside corner and the, see, here's the exact inside corner. For me, I can go the middle pitch to the inside corner to go 5-6 hole. Okay. And notice I brought it back. Camera wise. Yeah, we'll do this. What's up, Gina? Okay. So I'm standing in the same spot. If you could see now, look at that. I almost pretty much have it 34 inches from the front of home plate. Where before, when I was going gap to gap, front of home plate was going about right here. So now that I'm going to left center, you can actually see it. Okay? Almost the whole barrel of the bat to hit the 5-6 hole. And I'm not going to be going close to the plate, moving or opening my body where I see some guy. Those are mistakes because it's muscle memory. And if you're working on different things, you want to be as close to what you do in the game. I ain't changing my swings, my approach, my stance, my hands, or anything in that nature. Because if I'm taking good swings with my normal stance, it's going to carry over the game. You know, a lot of bad things that I've seen guys do when they're hitting with the tee, they develop a hitch, or their leg kicks. They're going here and they're going hitting the tee. That's why it's so, for me, to say compact, stride, and attack. You watch a lot of great hitters, even in baseball or fast pitch, a lot of it is just stride, hands through. So I'm in the same part of the box, and I'm just going 5-6 now. And look how high the ball is. I'm going to raise it just a little bit. That's good contact right there. And if that ball is coming down, it's going to hit behind the plate or possibly the plate, which will be considered a strike. Okay? All right, same spot of the box, going 5-6 hole. Okay. Cut it more. Okay. And it's not going to always be the first ball you hit. Little adjustments just with the swing, but not with your body. There you go. Okay. Same thing. Same spot in the box. Hands up. Strike. And I'm rolling my wrist. On contact is where I slightly open. A lot of times when guys are pulling the ball, they're doing this. And look at where my bevel over the bat is. See, when I'm going 5-6, it's here. And then on contact, I'm rolling them over. So I get that drive. As I said, guys who miss the ball pop up, they're doing this. See? Keep your back shoulder up. Okay? And at first, it's not going to be easy. This is a process. This isn't something you're going to get overnight. Okay? It's a process. And don't rush in between pitches. Sit there, think, breathe through the nose, hands up, strike. Oh, ooh, that's not a good one. That's okay. I'm going to give you another angle here. Okay, and all this stuff works well if you're working with your daughters, your sons. Yep. It all works. Same thing I'm doing. It's universal. Coming through. Same spot in the box. Now I'm going to put a little more gimp because I'm too close to that cone. So that's telling me I got to roll my wrists more. There you go. I mean, obviously, you're getting the mechanics down. Like I could share with you now, every swing, it feels a little different, but when you're in a tournament, you're able to get it in a different spot. I think a 5-6. I'm going to go down a little bit more. Same spot in the box. There you go. That's it. That's where I goofed. The swing's there. No change. Same spot in the box. Same way. Same spot in the box. A little, but most of the balls, for the most part, I'm hitting them on the ground. Give yourself. Okay. Once again, same spot. Hands up. And notice my shoulder on these swings. I am tacking the ball with the tight shoulder and I'm opening up on contact, not pre-contact. Because when you're opening up pre-contact, you're not going to get a better part of the barrel. I like that swing. We'll do it one more time. The other thing you don't want to think. Got to rely on your hands, got to rely on the work and your mechanics. Same spot. Last one in the 5-6 hole. That works. I'll go one more. See if I can cut one through that hole. Same spot in the box. Out of. That works. So the next one I'm going to do now is going backside. And for me, when I'm going backside, you know, I'm going to move first. I'm going to move my little box. But most importantly, ball's on the outside of the corner, but you're getting it a little deeper. Okay, you're going to get it a little deeper. That's the outside part of the box. You know, and once again, you got to learn the strike zone. To be a great hitter, walks are okay. Muscle memory. If you're hitting good pitches and you're hitting the strikes, it's going to work. Okay, so first I'm going to do a couple here. Got my cones. Working that 3-4 hole. All right. So I'm catching the ball. See, now you can see. Okay. So going backside from home plate to where the ball is. What I was doing to go gap the gap and pulling the ball. I'm a 5-6. 5-6. Middle. Backside. So I got this. I'm in the same spot in the box. Because as I said, as a defensive player, if I see you way off, I know you're going backside middle. Because look where you're set up. And that's like impossible to get a good pitch to turn it over. You're going to miss it. And that's what you see a lot. Okay? So, same spot. 3-4 hole. And there you go. I think I'm a 900 hitter as long as I've been playing softball going backside. A lot of people think I can't go backside, and that's because I'm not forcing pitches. I'm putting in enough work that I'm confident that if you have 6 guys over here, or 5, 3, you know, I still feel confident I can get a hit in there because I'm doing the work if the pitch is there. Another thing we used to do here a lot is play line ball, where we'd have 3 infielders and 3 outfielders. So you got 6 on that side, and that's also helped perfect my game. Hitting games are big. If you can get yourself involved with some hitting games to give yourself those anxiety levels to work on your breathing. Because when we play line ball, you know, some guys, oh, that's fine. But, you know, then you're not going to be competitive. You're not going to be playing at a higher level. But if you're kind of focused here, not grab-assing as much and just focusing at the task at hand, it's going to carry over to the tournament. A lot of times the guys, when we play the games that don't care, are usually the guys that don't play much or not as competitive, never been on a sponsored team or whatever. So we're going backside. Same spot in the box. See, it's deeper. Look at that. Cutting it. Cutting it good. Same spot in the box. There you go. And watch my body, if you analyze all 3 of my swings, you know, go back on the tape, same spot in the box. And I ain't altering anything, it's just striding. No, second base might probably get that one. Okay. Same spot in the box. Look at that. Music, that pays the bills. You're going to get more power when you're getting your arms out. Plus, the way I stand, very compact. Like I know it's a lot of young guys, they open. You're losing a little bit of power. I stand upright and tight so I can get every ounce of my body, my torque into the swing. Because you're going to lose a little with the open stance. But you got to mess with that in BP. And I learned that in BP. I was younger and I stopped playing baseball. I was out here messing around with a league team. Hitting BP, and I just started messing with my stance. I started doing closer, and I noticed I was hitting the ball harder and driving it. Same spot in the box. Look at that. See that? I am changing my body. I ain't altering my body. Nice and focused. Breathing through the nose. Same spot in the box. And there you go. Okay. So I'm going to hit the last couple in the gaps. As I said, if you, I mean, you may have to alter. Where I have it, it works. Sometimes I may have to go out a little bit more to hit it where I want. But as I'm sharing, I'm going to put the camera straight behind. I've got to have an approach and have a lot of good focus on the ball. You know, good work isn't you're out here doing goofy stuff and chatting or whatever. So I got the ball in the middle of the plate. Distance from home plate. So right about here. Okay, same spot in the box. And these are just gap. Right now I'm going to just go middle, like right center where that soccer net is. To me, if they consider a dead pull hitter, this is what you should be working on. A lot of times when I work with young kids, older guys, we're in a cage, and they're hitting the ball net to net. I go, focus on hitting the ball. On the backside of the net, you have the corner parts, it's corner bars. You should be hitting the ball between the two bars or in those corners. Because that pitch, ideally where I stand, is a gap to gap. And if you become a good gap to gap hitter, you can kind of see the field. Light tower would be a dead pull hitter. Light tower, it's the foul pole. Look how much area that you have to work with. And then let's say that gap, and then that light tower, gap to gap, you have so much to work with, and a center fielder working with more, and right field. That's once again, I'm going to go the right center. Well, pitcher. It's going to happen. You're going to miss up one of them. So you don't matter. Just got to learn from yourself and know your body. There you go. Same pitch. As I shared, I'd like it just a little bit more. I mean, either or, I could take that ball to that left center gap. But that's where the muscle memory comes in. I know where, photograph memories, I know where that ball needs to be, where I'm going to be successful 9 out of 10 times. Same stance. We're going left center now. So I kind of had a little upswing. I felt it. That's another reason why I like my hands up. Oh! All right, bad swing. Got a couple more here for you. Same spot in the box. There you go. Just gotta roll my wrist a little bit more to go to that left center gap where that pitch is. Same spot in the box. Look at that. Money. That pays the bills, that swing. Same spot in the box. Look at that. You ain't getting caught there. No one's catching those. Breathing through the nose. Same spot in the box. I just want to pay the bills. Same spot in the box. Look at that. Okay, see that? So as I'm sharing with you, those are good things to remember. Approach before the box. Have the same routine because it puts your mind in that mindset. If you don't got one, get one. Your batting. My frame of mind gets started when I'm in the hole. That's why I've always liked to be in the hole and then on the deck. When I'm in the hole, I got my weight bat, which is 5 ounces. I put on a cracked bat, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing my swings. Then once I go to the on deck, I take the sleeve off. I get my gamer, and I start doing this, loosening my bat. A lot of guys, before they get in the box, they have some kind of routine. Sometimes you see them breathing. I used to always like seeing Bryson Baker. Bryson Baker literally come up, and you can see the breathing. Breathing is a big key. Keep themselves tense, and it always be in the same spot in the box. Like there's sometimes when I play defense, the guys here, I'll be pull everything. You see them do this, and not everybody's quick to catch the movement of the feet, but I do. Okay. Real quick, I'm going to teach you a couple games. You can always play the game of out. A 5-6 hole, left center hole here. Sometimes we'll call, you got to hit a line drive through the cones. And play the game of out or horse. Because like I said, when you're putting yourself in pressure situations in BP, it carries over to game. So it's no surprise. If you play any kind of high, organized baseball or played for a good high school coach, there's a lot of scenarios they put you in game situations, bunting, pushing, infield in, got to get the ball in the outfield, infield back, guy on third, put the ball in play, hit behind. You got to put yourself in the scenarios to get your mind right, to know what you need to do to be successful, you know. Practice without improvement, meaningless. You got to have an objective, what you're working on, what you're trying to perfect. Just coming out here and swinging all goofy and crazy isn't going to get it done. Like a lot of times, I like to think a lot of good hitters, and when I sit down and talk with good hitters, we can literally, and even good defensive players, you could tell who's a swinger and who's a hitter. You know, when you hear line to line, that's usually a good hitter. And a swinger just swings, you know, all or nothing. Sometimes your swingers are just guys who hit the ball 350 feet. You know, for me, I guess if I really wanted to, because I've always had power from baseball to softball, but I've always taken pride in being able to hit line to line and keep the ball in the yard, especially in a lot of situations with runners on second and third, first and third, guy on third, getting a base hit to score the run, opposed to anything else. But there's always an objective, and it's always working on the things you need to improve your game. Can't stress the importance. Learn the strike zone, hit strikes, okay? A lot of my best tournaments that I've been hitting and gain awards for hitting is I mix in 4, 5, 6 walks. The last time I played with Supreme at Twin Creeks, I was 15 for 19, and I want to say I had 4 walks, 2 homers. You know, those are huge things. The walks come into place because if you're seeing the ball well, you're going to walk more. Last thing I do want to share, and I'm going to have to lower the camera of this, is how to prep your box. Take care of that box. So I'm lowering the camera here, okay? So first thing I'm going to do is the place where you stand, I'm cleaning that. It's a little harder in the middle, and I'm cleaning here. Just going to do it kind of cheap. And then you got that water. Put the water in here. Flood the sucker if you can. Look at that. That's good. And then fill it up with the dirt, because you want to make it to mud. And mud is kind of like cement. That might have been a little too much water, but there's a lot of dirt here. Okay? This is all improvising. This thing that I'm using right now is something I found here at the park. Okay? Take care of your box. It takes care of you. You know, don't be that guy that comes to BP and you have your spikes and you're kicking the holes and dirt like you watch on TV. That's why that saying that I usually say. You watch too much TV, guy. Okay. Another thing, playing 40s right now, I don't have a 40 team. My 40 team did a little merger with a couple guys I was playing with SB this year and having a very productive year. But they decided to go that route, and that's okay. 50s, been playing around 50s and 40s, but I don't really have that team. So if you notice, I'm going to pack it down a little bit. So tonight's game, grimy, it's going to be good. Okay. Pack it down, always packing it down. Okay. Okay. So a bucket's a little harder to control than a bottle, but you see here, you see what we got going. Nice and tight. What's up, Sammy? So we're going to finish her off. Okay. Take care of your box to take care of you. So now I'm just going to kind of sprinkle it a little bit because there's a lot of water here. Okay, right? As I said, start throwing more dirt on there. Make that dirt turn to mud. Pack it down. Especially a nice day like this. Should be no problemo. You know, but this is a passionate one, you know. If you played college baseball or good coach baseball team or anything, you should be doing this all the time. You know? It's amazing sometimes you hit BP and the guy's like, oh, I can't hit, the box is horrible. Well, you're going to have to learn to overcome. Boxing ain't always going to be perfect. Another thing, I didn't bring it, but most of the time when we hit, we bought ourselves, and I watch the business side of it all. I'll guarantee you, sooner than not, people are going to start selling pieces of turf ready for BP. That would be a great business. Buy yourself a piece of turf, and always bring turf. That way you just put dirt underneath you, and then you put the mat over it, and it works out really good. These guys are gonna have a nice box tonight. Okay, you can see it's all nice, and then pack it down. And you saw how much water I put, and then what I have left. I'm just going to finish it all off. And I'm going to put more dirt on there, but just to finish the stream and let you know, que paso. I'm out here at my home field in Hollister. Grew up playing here since I was 13 years old, 12 years old, Little League Baseballs, and I love this place. Been coming here for over 40 years. It's my community. It's my ballpark. I take care of it. I teach the young guys to take care of it when you're relaxing, put stuff in the garbage. But maintaining your field and stuff is a big part because your taxpayer dollars do this. And if you're not doing your part, then you can't really complain about how it is. Okay? Please go to my YouTube channel, subscribe and like. I've been putting a lot of my old podcasts on there with lots of great information, some more hitting and stuff. Hopefully some new little Mexicans will be coming to us in July. That's the goal, but we'll see where that ends up. But thanks you all for the support. Looking to land on some teams for the remainder of the year for 50s. I would love to play 50 major plus, but I know there's not a lot of teams, but 50 major right up my corner. I could play with anybody, bring a load of knowledge. Been talking to some other teams where they've been struggling. I said, that's why you need sometimes those vets. You know, when I was coming up, I had those vets that did what I wanted to do, and I learned a lot. So then now that it's my time, I got those world championships, those national championships in men's and in senior softball, and just the little things that I learned to have good work habits to be successful in tournaments. I'm a great teammate. I'm very passionate, and I get involved with the game, and I'm talking and shouting. But if you pay really close attention to any upper team, successful team, they're always talking on the field. Some guys are not used to people chatting and talking, but defense, I say that's why we're dancing together, man. You're making all those moves, okay? So it's Tuesday, June 10th. Started my vacation. I'm looking to be doing some hitting the next couple weeks, and currently right now I don't have no games scheduled to play for the next couple of weeks. So need a guy, hit me up. I hope you enjoyed this video. As I said, besides Facebook, I'll be putting it on YouTube. Chihuahua, or you type up the Little Mexican, but please subscribe and like. There's a lot of good information there. Feel free to message me if you have any questions on anything, because if there's anything I like to do is help people and create a stronger softball community. All right? So thank you very much. And Chihuahua. Meow.